The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship 2022 out of Wrocław in Poland. We are witnessing an under-17 women's game between Germany and GB. That is Christina Obermeier out of Vienna, joined by the wonderful Rahel Doschnerova from the Czech Republic.
Out of Budweis, more specifically. Hello, Christina. Lovely to be back on the stream. We have the U17 category coming out in the next match. Great Britain will take on Germany right there on your screens, getting ready to pull in the white jerseys.
Big pull coming up in GB, starting on offense. Bond puts the disc into play. Not a lot of cuts, and then everyone at once finds Dyer. And Dyer puts it up the line, caught in a second effort and quickly put into the end zone and collected for the score, tumbling over. What a way to hold on your first point of the game.
What an enthusiastic entrance by the GB girls. Lovely stuff. There was a lot of upline cuts. We saw several open people, wide open people, trying to get the first few catches in this game. Let's see the replay of the high disc that was wobbled on the first try, but caught on the second effort, as you said, and immediately put into the end zone. And a tumbling catch, front roll. Here goes the first offensive hold for GB.
Clean hold, gotta say. All you need. Works for them.
We are live at the ULTI.TV YouTube channel as opposed to the WFDF. That was the one for the U20 division. So if you are still struggling to find it, just go to www.youtube.com, which is kind of the favorite video website. I believe a lot of you can do that. And then just type in ULTI.TV to follow all the action here from Wrocław. Here is Germany with their first try.
Fass. Central handler for this German O-line. Into Nagel, and Nagel puts it up and doesn't collect here. Disc not collected, and that is a break chance for GB early on in this second point. But they turf it, and Germany get a very good field position. Fass with the disc in her hand again. Nobody really running. Meckel is looking for an option, finds it in Nagel. And Nagel is going to put another very floaty disc up. Anybody's underneath it, and it's smacked away.
I believe that was Emily Askham with the defense for GB on the last throw into the end zone.
I couldn't tell it was so many putties underneath it. Disc hanging in the air for long, and it hits the ground again, but looks like there was a foul call on the field. The disc leaving the hands of the GB player rather awkwardly. Inside shot and off to the races are GB. Not many options for Hudson Lawless. Looks for something and goes up the line, and what a grab. Liu. Back around for Hart. An inside out shot, and that's a break for GB to start 2-0 up.
Alice Hodges with the score for GB. First break of the day. Well, not the day, just this game. She's out of Warwick, which is, I have recently learned, actually, just this morning, that it is pronounced Warwick.
Warwick,
You wouldn't have known. I've been saying Warwick and singing Warwick my whole life. Apologies to the GB fans. She has been selected to play in the Lemmings senior team, which has been her career highlight, and her sporting hero is Mr. Darren, who is her coach for her school team, because he has helped her through her struggles when participating in Ultimate. He gives everyone a positive vibe and keeps them motivated.
Shout out to Mr. Derek. Well done.
Yay, Mr. Darren, let's go. Love to see so many youth coaches so positive and smiley on the sideline. It is so important to have people who know how to work with youth. Volunteering, most of them, I believe GB might have an advanced enough program that the coaches might get some sort of remuneration. Maybe we'll check it during the halftime. But most of these people are actually volunteering to work with youth, prepare them for these tournaments, and then spend a whole week of their own time getting them through it. Here is a hang and pull out of GB.
And it'll land at around midfield. The wind caught it a bit and pushed it back into the middle. Germany putting the disc into play, but doesn't connect with Kirsten. Another early opportunity for GB to get a break. Disc put in the middle for Daya. Brogan up the line. Now knocking into the red zone, and what a grab there from behind.
Some incredible catching skills from this GB girls.
Yeah, sticky fingers for sure. Another up the line shot just in front of the end zone now is Hodges, and she puts it into the arms of a German receiver. One up the line shot too many, and as Germany are setting up, they're already set, moving into the other side of the field, and the shot just out of the reach of Bachinger.
That was a lovely put from Kirsten. So unfortunate that it didn't find the intended receiver. Great piece of action from Germany.
There is a call on the field, apparently. People waving their hands.
Oh, is it just a ponytail adjustment, Christina? Are we having a hair adjustment?
Oh, is that what they're
stop.
doing? But everyone's going
That
back.
is lovely. Maybe her hairband popped and she's getting it from her opponent now, a
That's
new
really
one.
nice. That's Frisbee for you.
That is Frisbee for
Oh,
you.
and she's tying her shoe as well.
All sorts of equipment problems here in the first few points. Lovely spirit. Diz gets tapped back into play.
Bond into the middle for Wolf. Asking for that disc, and Wolf can't wrap her hands around it, giving that disc back to Germany once again. And after two rather clean points, we see a very messy one. Kirsten searching for an option, finds one in Godehard. Bachinger now No reset currently for this German team. Has to go over under, catching under a lot of pressure. Kirsten with a high grab and gonna put it into space, into the end zone, but just out the side.
They're good looks from Kirsten. There are players and options downfield, but so far, just a bit too far. I think she's gonna have to adjust the accuracy based on the conditions. There is a little bit of wind. If you'll be able to spot the flags later on the back of the field, at the back of the field, on the fence, you'll be able to judge for yourself, but a timeout called by GB.
And as players are taking a short break to readjust some offensive and defensive looks, we are gonna also take a short break and be back with you in a second.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
We are back with some live action here, under 17 women's division. Naomi Bond on the disc, and a 4-person cup out of Germany trying to put pressure on that disc. Searching for an option is Bond, and she's going to put a high disc up, many bodies underneath, and collected by a GB player. Still setting up in that zone, is creating a turnover for the German side.
One more chance for the Germans to put this one in. They're still looking for their first point in this game. They get underway.
Bachinger searching for an option. Again, no reset handler set. It's an interesting setup for them. Michler. Searching for an option and out of the reach of Kirsten.
Let's see. It seems like the Germans will stick with the zone as soon as they can find the last one to the cup.
And it works. What an option there. Bond not connecting the disc.
And the Germans really just shy of the end zone.
Wittmeier picking up and searching for Kirsten in space, who is well defended, and now she's going to put it up over the top, around into space for someone to run under, but nobody did, so that's another opportunity for GB. What a messy point.
Wittmeier, I think, had the right idea. She saw the open space in the break side, but unfortunately her teammates didn't really recognize what throw she had open, and
this zone now forcing towards the other line, and another turnover. They seem to be stifled by the many bodies between the person.
Yeah, I think that was a holstered throw that just forced the thrower to drop the disc.
And a high reaching pass to Kirsten for the first German goal.
Isa Kirsten reels it in for the Germans. They are ecstatic, and so are the parents on the sideline. Kirsten being the daughter of Birgit Immen, the long-time player out of Munich, many times member of the German national team. She is here with her partner and the father of Isa on the sideline cheering on in Wrocław, but we have commentated on her games with the Woodies in the Masters division about, 3 months ago? I can't count that quickly. In May, here on the same pitch. So within the spread of 3 months, I'm commentating on the second generation of the German players and coming actually from the same family.
It's nice to see that tradition of playing Ultimate passed on to the next generation, and both still actively playing. I'm guessing they're playing together as well, if it's not a Masters or a Juniors event.
I would think so. We will make sure we check that out during the halftime to keep you updated. But in the meantime, please make sure to hit the subscribe button on the ULTI.TV YouTube channel, because that is what allows you to participate in the discussion, in the chat. We would love to say, pass on the greetings and the fan letters or comments that you will be sending out to your heroes here on the pitch in Wrocław. GB back on offense for this one.
Germany again with that zone look, trying to stifle some more GB players. And there you go.
Yep.
Thrown into traffic.
They've discovered the magic of a good zone. Earns them the turnover.
Now they have to connect on that. Osman puts it into Fass, who's shooting it deep for the end zone. Beautiful collection by Nagel for the score. And that was an easy break. That was so much better than before. They seem to have composed themselves.
And they're finally finding their energy. GB really came into this first point of the game very enthusiastically, as I have already pointed out. But now Germany is feeling very appreciative of the great job they have done with their zone. And we are tied at 2.
They got back first break and then got a second one as well. No, they scored a point they held and then got a break to even it out again. GB started out with a bit of better energy, and now Germany has also arrived in this game and is ready to fight for it. Although the wind is dying down a little bit now, let's see if they'll stay with that 4-person zone and try it in stiller condition, because that can also work really well.
It does create a certain mental advantage when you are the thrower and you have the wall of 4 players that you need to overcome if you want to get off the first pass. So even without wind, sometimes the zone can make a difference, even in calm conditions.
Bond. Daya in the middle finds Bond again. And Germany is in that zone setup. Dyer overshooting Brogan a little bit. That pressure really felt on the GB side, and Germany now have about half of the field to work it into the end zone, and nobody really running yet, but you just need one person running and then, getting that disc as well, and that's what they do. Up the line to Wittmeier. I love how they celebrate every single pass, and Wittmeier puts it up into the end zone for Mecke, and Mecke gets the goal for Germany, and that's the second break in a row.
Paula Mecke aus München comes from Munich. Started to play for her school team at the Ludwigs Gymnasium, and she has some clubs experience from Lufos. Her friends and family are sure to be watching on the stream. Their hero in the U17 women's category, making them proud. And no surprise that GB will take a timeout, both teams having 2 at their disposal for each half of this game. The GB girls had the right idea, I believe, playing against the zone, trying to swing the disc wide, but that last one unfortunately was a bit too far. So as the teams recollect themselves, receive extra instructions from their coaches, we will take a short break in the commentary booth ourselves.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a
Football! Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
5 seconds.
We are back. Live action here from Wrocław, Poland. GB taking on Germany in the under-17 women's division. Germany just got a 3-point run and is ready to pull to maybe get a fourth one. Although if you are supporting Great Britain, you would wish them to figure out this zone setup, and Germany has put them under pressure with.
So GB coming out with 3 handlers, and that one unfortunately goes to the ground despite the Germans not using the zone defense as in the previous points.
Maybe they had prepared to play zone defense, and now this matchup has changed. Their overall setup too far, but this is too far and in front for Fuss, and Germany have to give up their opportunity to get that break. We're seeing a matchup setup, but a bit poachy, and a discussion about the stall.
Quickly resolved.
Lou puts it into space, but the disc is macked down by the German defender. I love that, just standing there and slapping the disc to the ground, waiting for one of the handlers to pick it up. Fass and Medke cannot quite collect there.
That was Butenschön with the D previously out of Cologne.
GB now with an opportunity, but macked away that disc by Pollmeyer. Fuss, just in front of that disc, tipped by the defender, and a red zone opportunity for GB, and they're going to use it quickly and into the end zone and out of reach.
Hart wasting no time to try to get the disc to the end zone quickly. And the Germans are on offense one more time. They put up a floaty hawk. 2 players underneath. That is great defensive effort by Molly Williams.
Williams macking that disc to the ground. Hart discussing stall count once again, using the momentum to get it up the line, but nothing really for her. Goes for the break. Likes a bit of quick movement, the lefty handler, and puts it into space, and that's a point for GB.
Lovely continuation pass. It finally works out. They're really putting up these laser backhands that are so difficult to catch. They kind of approach the ground a bit quicker than the receiver expects. But this time it works out, and GB is staying in the game. We're tied at 3, and we'll see some highlights out of that last point. I think the British defender got a hand on the last reset Here's the great D by Williams one more time. Williams playing for Flux. And also coming out of Derby, I believe is the proper British pronunciation.
Getting the assist as well as Williams.
And Emily Askham with the score.
Good for Emily, getting herself on the scoreboard. So Germany out on O again. Hasn't worked out quite as well for them yet, the offensive starts. But we'll see how they manage this time.
We are being asked in the chat how big the field is. It is just a regular ultimate field. Just Google regulation size ultimate field.
So it's 100 meters long and 33 meters wide.
Isn't Christina so nice?
You can also, if you're interested, check out the rules at rules.wfdf.org.
And that was a huge backhand out of Germany, which was defended so well by GB, but they lose the disc on the next pass.
Oh, and
more.
they took a bit out of the German playbook and started out with his own. But switched to matchup quickly, and lasering it into the end zone is Germany. Nagel with the score, the assist thrown by Kirsten, I believe.
And that is a second time connection for the Germans. Nagel getting her second goal of the game. A clean offensive hold. Well, not really clean. There was the turnover there and back, but it was so quick no one even noticed. And Germany go up 4-3.
We saw GB with an initial wall setup, but then they quickly dissolved into matchup defense, maybe just to confuse players.
I like that tactics.
Me too.
Here is the sideways throw. Continued by the swing to Kirsten.
And the laser, as you said that before, laser is into the end zone. You can't quite manage, you can't quite manage the discs that well with the wind. So lasering it in is always a good opportunity.
A good option, yeah.
Yeah, good option if you want to put it in a small space. I think both of us, we can do that really well, Rachel. You know that drill. Got the four-person cup out of Germany. Set up once again. 2 people in the handler set, and now even 1 single person in the handler set for GB, but well collected that disc. Now they found a bit more structure. Williams to Hart. Hart, who has been working tirelessly in the handler set. Gets it back again, just positioning herself very well.
So hard to tell whether Hart was thinking about an overhead or just trying to see something against the sharp sun that she's facing when she's looking downfield.
A huge...
A big putt, but a collection on the second effort by GB.
And I would have loved to see that, but there's so many people in front of me, I couldn't even get a glimpse of that. As Hart gets the disc in her hands again, connects there with Mills for the score, and that's a GB hold. A clean hold this time.
Hart is a dangerous lefty, just like Kirsten is in the handler space for Germany. I think Hart will be the main handler for this GB offense. Lovely to see the youngsters develop their handling skills so early and put them to good use, especially now on the stream.
Yeah, and what I love to see is that these players that have amazing skills can take control of a game at this level. Whereas in like a club team, there's always someone more experienced who taught you everything, but they will take the central handler position, as is their right. But in a setup like this, an under 20 or under 17 division, you as a young up and coming player get the opportunity to really try out different things and take on responsibilities that you wouldn't otherwise have in a club team.
So almost 30 minutes into the game, Ellie Mills takes us to 4-all, in this under-17 matchup between Germany and Great Britain. We have the total of 6 teams in the under-17 women's division. Besides these 2, there's Sweden, Belgium, Italy, and France. In case you're wondering about the results, just click the link in the description of the video. jjuc.sport is the website address where you can find all the scores from the past and currently played out games. You can also check out the Spirit scores.
And the schedule, if you want to know when your favorite team plays again. Everything on that one website.
Oh, Christina, Mr. Mills is tuning in. He says, that's my girl.
Yes,
it is, Mr. Mills. Good job. And a zone look out of GB.
So
Kirsten takes it to the brick mark.
she was running back to the end zone there, in search of the break, but it's marked on the field, and Kirsten puts it out into space, but too far and doesn't connect with Wittmeier. And that's a red zone opportunity for Germany, for GB, of course, here, to go get over Germany and get that lead.
That's right. We've seen both teams broke their opposition in this game already. Here is GB with another chance.
Patterson taps the disc, trying to tap the disc in, fakes her cut away, and the handler as well goes over the top, and that's a hanging disc and too high for the receiver, putting some defensive pressure on his Mandafeld. Wittmeier walking to the disc slowly. Faking, searching for an option. 2 players colliding a little bit, but the disc ends up in the hands of Peterson. Nagel now. Faking vividly. And another collection.
There always seems to be a backup for the catch for Germany.
I don't know if that's a good thing necessarily, but laser down and collected for Kirsten for the German side.
Kirsten making good use out of the newly acquired long limbs that she gets, I would say, maybe more from her father than her mother. It will be the handling skills that she is getting from her. Nonetheless, Germany, despite losing the disc once in that point, keep it tight and add another one to the scoreboard.
So they're up 1 now. See a replay to that. Huge fake. Puts it in a bit wobbly there, but Nagel knows what she's doing. Connects with the outstretched hands of Kirsten, and we've seen that we've seen that go the other way. Kirsten putting it to Nagel this time. Nagel is the one on the throwing side of things.
So the way the U17 women's division works here at EYUC, one of the 2 junior championships we are having the pleasure to witness this week, is that one pool of 6 teams plays a round robin. Top 3 teams move to Pool B, 4th, 5th, and 6th team move to Pool C. All games are replayed. No scores are carried forward from the first round. Top 2 teams from Pool B, which is the higher pool, play the gold medal game. 3rd team from Pool B and first team from Pool C play the bronze medal game.
Interesting. That pool was good. Bit short, but landed nearly inbounds, which now means that they can set up that zone again, forcing towards us and towards your screen. Hart puts the disc into play. Faking vividly and connects. Just puts it over the top. Hart running under it, but it's different teammate from her, and she lasers it through into the arms of a German defender.
Streaking comes Carlotta Osman with the D, prevents the last pass. Another laser backhand to the Germans, but a wobbled catch gives the disc back to the GB, and they have a second chance to score. They go sideways. Mills with the disc now.
Puts it over the top. Oh, around the side, I'd say. Not over the top. That wasn't a high disc. But that's a goal, despite some confusion about the player being in bounds. Or
Yeah, I think it wasn't clear whether the point was made, but it is Ella's, and now I'm gonna butcher her last name. I apologize. Hodges, out of Warwick. She
well
said
done, Rachel.
she said we should look for her speed, layouts, and defensive skills, but here she is scoring a point. She comes out of Leamington Lemmings, is her club experience. She first saw friends playing, and then she came along, and here she is competing at the World Championship.
Good
It's
for
actually
her.
the European one, but
As high as it gets.
as high as it gets for now, anyway. So we're tied at 5. The time limit for under 17 category is 80 minutes. So once we hit that time, the 80-minute mark, that's when we're gonna decide what happens next.
We are deciding. Nice.
Just like everything, you know, we decide who wins. We decide if the games are gonna be tight, depending how tired we are.
And we have a way for you to decide.
We do. If you think you are willing or wanting to influence the games that are being streamed here on the ULTI.TV as well as the WFDF YouTube channel, you can vote on some of the matchups that are being shown by becoming a patron to ULTI.TV. You can go to www.patreon.com/ULTI.TV, and for the price of as little as a coffee a month, you can support the free streaming that our company is offering, and also get to vote on what's going to be shown on the stream. A nice throw over the first cup by Germany. They are now moving quickly, but an overthrow intercepted by GB. That one is wobbled, so Germany gaining a little bit of space.
Yeah, they get it back right there. Just around the brick mark, Wittmeier into Kirsten. Nagel searching for an option. I love the cross-field movement. Stifled now in front of the end zone, and that's a point for Nagel. She's collecting all the discs for this German side.
Nagel is on fire. That is her 3rd goal in this game.
And she has an assist too.
And she has an assist too, so involved in 4 points out of 6 that Germany have scored in this game. And Germany staying up, besides starting this game a little slower than the GB team, I would say. But love to see that we have a tight game unfolding before us.
Yeah, there's a bit of miscommunication here and there, or lack of concentration as well, that evens out during this game, since both teams have some miscommunications at points, which just makes it all the more fun for us to watch and support our respective teams.
So Germany coming out into the U17 division seated 3rd and GB 4th. So as expected, this would be a tight matchup, even though the seedings in this category are quite complicated. GB back on O.
Hickman towing on an invisible line as Williams. Searching for an option. Us finds Hart, and Hart with some sticky fingers just about keeps possession of that disc and puts it on with some gain of yards, and now to Lou. Williams asking for it.
That is good patience out of GB.
And that's a commentator's curse for you, Rachel.
Of course, as I say that.
GB just can't connect on this, and Fuss to pick up for a German break opportunity. Loads of patience for the Germans as they set up again in a 6 stack and 1 handler player, clearing out the space near the disc. Very unusual setup. Works for them though. Mecca fights Luxemburger, and Luxemburger puts the disc up into space just in front of the end zone. Has an option but decides against it, decides to do the patient thing and push the disc into the middle to Fass, central handler for this German side, and Fass is putting it up into space into the end zone, and that's a break for Germany. Osman with the goal.
Osman got a huge block in one of the last points, and here she is scoring. She is doing a heck of a job out there for Germany. They go up 7-5 over Great Britain, and they're just 1 point away from taking the half. Some GB fans getting active in the chat saying, "Go Team GB, go GB girls." They have a heavy, heavy task on their hands right now. They need to recover, try to stay in this half, and then hopefully make a push for the small universe point, which we sometimes like to call the Galaxy point.
On the other hand, if you're supporting the Germans, you'd want Germany to finish that first half with a break and go up 8-5, which would be ideal since I do believe they come out on offense after the break.
Germany started on offense, I think, and got a break first. No. Too bad at this. I think you're right. It will be a surprise. You will have to tune in for the second half. In any case, Germany have lost to France so far, 14-4. They won over Sweden 9-6, and now they're playing out their third game against GB, currently 7-5 up over them.
Bond and Hart going every other in the handler set. Putting it over to the other side. Spreading the field. Hart again now in the red zone. Goes up the line. And so many players in that space, but collects. I think it was Dyer who collects for GB.
That's a lovely catch in the end zone. I love how outstretched their arms are. These players still learning how to deal with their new bodies, coming just out of puberty. Let's see the replay. These limbs are long, and these players are using them really well. Great catch. And
Ashcombe, actually. Not
Ashcombe,
Dyer.
yeah,
Ashcombe.
right.
Not Dyer, but still.
But still, great stuff. GB stays in this game. They go up 6 to Germany 7. And maybe it's also time to mention the British results so far. Britain won over Sweden 8-5. Then and I think that might have been their only games so far. So this being a second game for them.
Interesting. So they have the majority of their games still in front of them, whereas Germany has had a bit more time to connect and to find themselves as a team.
Sorry, I apologize. They lost to Italy 15-5, my bad. Just couldn't get myself orientated quite quickly enough.
Oehler puts the disc out of space, but too far for Pollmeyer. Bit too visionary, saw the space where Pollmeyer was not able to run under.
And as the sun hides behind the clouds, the wind picks up a little bit here at field 1. Germany with a chance to break, stay in the first half, and take us to Galaxy Point.
Bond reads that disc very well. Is around the brick mark now. Search for a reset and gets it in Patterson, who also is desperately looking for an option and finds that one in Bond. Loads of running. Small fakes for Bond, and she puts it into the end zone.
That's a break for GB. Izzy Stevens with the score. She comes from the club Evolution and Lemmings, and her sporting hero is Serena Williams, as she inspires her to have confidence in herself, and confidence she shows in that end zone for GB. And we're in Galaxy Point, Christina. What an exciting game.
I think we called that.
We called that. Like we told you, whatever we decide, that is what happens on the field. In the meantime, as I was checking out the rosters of these two teams, and a little fun fact to get you to the end of the first half, we have Peterson on one side for Germany, and we have Pedersen on the GB side.
And I think it's Patterson, and then
Patterson, there you go.
and then
Yeah, so
Peterson,
Peterson and Patterson.
and you have to really,
Not to be confused. One is 3 and one is 6. So
in terms of numbers, not age.
yeah, we're not going that low.
But since both teams seem to recollect their thoughts in a timeout, we will do that again as well, and then see you again in a second. Slipping and falling. I'm gonna spring my cap. We are back to live action here. Galaxy Point, as we've already disclaimed it here. 7-7 in that under 17 matchup between GB and Germany. Rachel, as we have been really good with predicting these things, what is your call? Who's gonna get that point?
I wouldn't dare to guess.
But you have to. This is part of your job.
Is that my job?
It's not guessing, it's calling it.
Is it?
Yeah. You
But
don't have
I
to be
speak
right.
English just as well as German, so you know it's hard to sympathize. I'm gonna.
Do you really want me to sympathize with any of those teams? I don't know if I can do that. I'm not sympathizing with the teams per se. I'm asking you for your professional opinion on the ultimate you see here.
Well, GB is starting on defense, and Germany is going in offense. So I'm predicting at least 3 turnovers.
Okay, so I'm saying, as the defense has always gotten the better, I think the defense will take that. Germany with the disc. The back of their end zone. They have been pushed back by the defensive pressure of GB, but still got control over that disc. Bachinger goes up the line into the hands of a GB player. Daya looked like that disc was for her, and she felt that. Disc marked by Kirsten.
And that is 2 turnovers already. It will be a battle out there.
One more. At least to let your prediction come true. But for now, we see Germany pinned to the sideline due to a GB zone and a hammer collected by Kirsten. She goes all the way over there.
We know she's got that killer forehand, but this one was slicing through the air a bit too quickly for the intended receiver. 3 turnovers are over from my prediction. If GB scores, I was right.
And me too, I guess.
And
So,
so was Christina.
oh, but
And there you go. There goes
Unfortunately,
one prediction out the window.
we can't control the game. apparently.
It's out of our hands and back into the hands of Germany.
Bachinger. Wittmeier searching for an option. Goes to Kirsten, overplaying one of the handlers that are still set up in the back. Back to Bachinger. The sidelines screaming that they can't just stay around and stand around, actually, which I agree with, because if you stand around, you get hand blocked, apparently. Hart with the hand block and picking up the disc as well into the hands of Bond, who has been handling for them all half, and that's a huge disc. I wanted to say huge grab if she had caught that. I set that up so perfectly, but unfortunately it didn't connect, so Germany gets another opportunity with working it all the way down the field. Kirsten thinks about the deep shot. I think she really thought about that, but now needs an under option or some other opportunity to get rid of that disc. Many bodies underneath it, and that's a GB disc.
That was so much better. It was a great idea. Just needed a little faster of an execution to get there before the defenders could. It is Askham who knocks the disc out of the air. GB, one more chance, striking up line.
Just in front of the end zone now, puts it up into space. Defenders underneath it, and players as well. And that's a goal for GB, and GB take half on a break.
Lucy Dyer with the score, has only been playing for 3 years, but she has been making a name for herself as an offensive cutter. She started with her school team because her teacher started a team. He's a Frisbee player, and he encouraged her to join. So Gateway School getting good representation here on Team GB, who take the half over Germany. We're saying hi to the camera. Thanks everyone for watching. We saw Chris Denhardt tuning in recently for Team Germany. He'll be making sure that he's there for the second half because Germany are not ready to let this one slip just yet.
Definitely not. And as excited as Chris Denhardt is for sure, are we as well for the second half. But now we're going to take a short break, send you off with some highlight videos and some words from our sponsors, and we'll see you again soon.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hasliger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe ULTI.TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of ULTI.TV.
Regardez ULTI.TV. Deviens un membre d'ULTI.TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Top ULTI.TV velmi eroginkime Ultimate vendromene. Si quieres ayudar a ULTI.TV, puedes ser miembro de ULTI.TV.
Everyone, follow ULTI.TV on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love Frisbee. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på ULTI.TV.
Became member
of ULTI.TV.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec ULTI.TV.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
We want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
with thousands of hours of experience.
And our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
We work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and new stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Oh, just a
Football! Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Okay, coming out of replays now.
Welcome back for the second half of action. Under 17 women's division, free on the ULTI.TV YouTube channel. We have seen the most exciting ending to the first half of this match. Germany losing the disc as they started on offense for the Galaxy point, and GB getting the upper hand right towards the end. Here's Germany on offense. My name is Rachel Toshnerova, and I am here with Christina Obermeier.
So as Germany got that disc on offense in the second half, means we are on serve here, and they're in their red zone. So far, it's a clean hold for them. Just outside the end zone, the disc is high and collected by Pollmeyer, and that's a clean hold for Germany to even things out at 8-8.
Lovely energy in the second half from Germany. They've been pumped up by their coach to make sure they enter the second half strong. They know that this will be a tight game until the end. Lovely lefty put. The receiver able to turn around just in time to make that safe two-handed grab. Collects the disc, presses it to her belly, and Germany even out the score at 8.
A good clean hold for them. The wind has picked up and slightly changed direction as well, I believe. But
it keeps swirling.
It keeps changing, but no trouble at all for the German side here on offense.
Now the GB sideline getting active and loud with their cheers, trying to pump up their offensive 7 to show a similar kind of confidence as the Germans did in the last point. GB displaying the full range of bottom wear out of the GB kit. We see some short shorts, some long shorts,
and some long shorty shorts.
Something in the middle.
Patterson and Bond working at 1 and 2, and that disc into the back of the intended target and right into the hands of Widmeyer, who fakes the big shot and puts it to Bachinger instead.
Bachinger waiting for her mark to approach. It finally comes.
Finds a reset in Widmeyer again.
The wind really picking up now.
Kirsten on the far side. Doesn't find an option. Stall is getting higher, and there's a violation called.
I believe Kirsten called some sort of marking infraction first and was waiting for her mark to adjust the stall count, which might not have happened. In any case, I would love to see Kirsten use a little bit, use her long legs a little bit more and go for a nice pivot, but she goes to the upline for Godehardt.
Yeah, whatever works. And that worked well. Godehardt now around and into space, but not into the hands of the intended target. Gives GB
a chance to redeem themselves, yeah.
To put the point in. Bond screaming for an option, and Germany set up their zone look again. We've seen a lot out of this in the first half.
This will be very rough for GB. Great second effort on that catch, but the disc ends up on the ground. The thing is, the wind is really picking up, and unless the disc has enough spin on it, the throws just won't find their intended receivers.
Good grab there by Manderfeld. Bachinger up the line into the hands of the GB player.
Denied once more by Butler.
Evie Butler. Heads up defense on her side. And Bond once again with disc in hand, looking into the hands of Germany. Kirsten searching for an option. Finds Bachinger. Very static, the offense there on the German side, but finds Medke. And Medke is going to put it up into space over the heads of everybody.
One more chance for GB. Several turnovers in this offensive point for GB. But they get one more chance, but they will be faced with this quite heavy wind that is blowing in their faces and slightly towards the camera. They take a timeout, and a great opportunity to me to once more mention Evie Butler, who has only been playing for 3 years but already has a community contribution that I would like to mention.
Go ahead.
Apparently she has taught children with learning disabilities to play ultimate Frisbee as part of her Duke of Edinburgh award.
Wow.
She also coached younger years at school, which is just so impressive. We've had so many community contribution fun facts about the Masters division, but so surprising to see that in the under 17 divisions. Come on, that
Started early. That's great.
That is lovely stuff. Great job, Evie. Thank you so much for contributing and giving back to the Ultimate community. Very much appreciated. And as the teams huddle up, we will leave you with a short note from our sponsors.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
We are back to live action here. Germany taking on Great Britain in the under-17 women's division. We see the German signature four-person cup in play, and GB trying to get through it. They gain yards for the first time, I think, since ever being pinned in that on that side. But as I say it, of course, the commentator's curse.
Medke with the defense for Germany. I believe I'm not hearing that name for the first time, and I believe she has a brother or a relative on one of the other German teams. And in the meantime, Germany get a break early on. That is Britta Bachinger with the score for Germany.
Who did not fill out her players' information, so we cannot tell you
about her.
What she does as a community service for other people. Maybe she is a role model in that sense, but if she doesn't tell us about it, you will not know about it.
So that's just a little reminder that we very much appreciate everyone who fills out the player survey for the commentary, making the games more exciting and helping all fans watching at home learn about these fantastic youth players that are sure to rise to the top of European, let alone not just European, but also world level ultimate. Speaking about names that we have heard on the stream before, besides Medke, I believe Peterson also has a brother
in the under 20 men's division, I believe.
And difficult to say if that would be the case for some of the GB under 17 women. If you know about any connections to other national teams.
If you are the connection.
If you are the connection.
To any of these people playing on the line or just part of the team, let us know. You'll get a shout out.
Great mega pull, as the Germans say, from Osman.
Did you hear that, Rachel? You
I
stole
did.
her comment.
How dare they?
How rude of you. How dare you?
But GB with another offensive look facing the German zone. They will really need this one, but that's a long pass over the top.
Hard, so safe for the GB side, but this time cannot quite collect. And Fass puts that disc to the near side. Meckel waiting for an option to appear. Just up the line, and now they're in red zone territory. Vivid fakes, goes around the back to Oehler. Oehler to Fass, just out to space, into the end zone. That's collected for another break on the German side.
And pure excitement from the celebration. Check out the Germans going wild in the end zone. I believe that might have been Paula Meckel with the score.
I agree, yeah, Paula Meckel.
Towering to reach out her big, not big, just long arms. Also out of Munich, 2 of her teammates attend the same school class as she does.
We had that fun fact before.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, we are more than ready to repeat ourselves.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
we just want to point out there's 3 people on that team that all go to the same school, and I think we've mentioned all 3 of them now. So this means all of them have an impact on this game and on this team, which is very impressive.
some more fun facts coming out from Chris in the chat. Medge has a brother in the German Under-20 Open. We've said that, I believe. But also her mom, Nadia Kappel, is an official JJUC photographer.
Oh, is she?
I wonder if she's present at this field.
She might be.
In any case, Germany steals another break over Britain. And as we are nearing the 50th minute,
70th minute,
70th minute of this game, GB will really need to reel this one in. Again, forced to work against that wind. Good hide grab by Bond. She puts up a floaty forehand.
Into the hands of a German defender.
Intercepted. And Germany will now be going downwind.
Kirsten with a huge fake. And again, no reset option. I think it's a very curious style, but seems to work as I say that, of course. Doesn't connect. But brilliant effort from the Germans to swing the disc to the other side and set up that zone again, and sticky fingers for GB. But Brogan.
And what a cheeky put. Huge forehand blade into the end zone. GB finally scores. That is an important offensive haul. They lose the disc once along the way, but they finally make it to the end zone. They go up 9 on the scoreboard.
Germany still up a break. But good effort from GB to get the disc into the end zone without running into another opposition, that is Germany.
Let's see the replay one more time. Disc through the middle. Outstretched catch.
Sticky fingers for Brogan.
One more centering pass. And Brogan unleashes that forehand blade. And the receiver goes to the ground but collects that disc safely. Great awareness. About 9 minutes left of game time.
As we have mentioned before, games are to 80 minutes. And then cap 1, so add 1 to the higher score. Fass putting it out to Osman. Back into Fass. And up the line pass just in front of the end zone now. Looking for options, doesn't have any, doesn't see anything yet. Goes back into the middle. And all around to Fass on the far side, who surveys the field. Such a steady handler for the German side.
Lovely dump and swing by Germany. Can they do it again? This one hits the shins of Michla.
And such a risky pass where she would have had an easier option.
And GB with a chance to break. They find wide open.
Lawless. Wide open, as you said. And she puts it into space. And what a layout attempt.
That was great effort. Emily Askham spreads her wings and flies.
Nice cut by Fass. Completely ankle breaking her defender and putting it out into space. But bubbled grab by Butenschön.
Great fight. Loving the pressure on both sides. Also the courage for these throws. Look at that layout one more time. She had it but couldn't quite claw her fingers around it. But they get a second chance.
GB now on the run, and this disc floating, and this time she cannot quite get herself to leave her feet.
Too much to ask from Askham. But a great rundown. I think she was just a bit tired and out of breath from that previous effort on the catch.
Yeah, that point has been going on for a little while as Fass puts the disc out to space. It's floating and goes down before Ula can connect with it, and that's a big gainer of yards for GB here. They're in the red zone already.
Liu picks up for them and tries to go through the break side.
Williams to Liu. Into the GB player there, Hudson Lawson. Into the end zone, outstretched hands of Askham, but again, just cannot quite get there.
Askham always seems to be open for GB. She's doing a chunk of work downfield for this GB offense. But they will need one more turnover if they want to get the break and make this game tied at 10. We see the GB sideline
and nothing else.
completely blocking our view.
They thought it was a good thing. It really is not.
And that upline pass, again a bit too far for Germany. Liu picks up once more.
What a grab by Jarvis. She puts it in.
GB tried to jump it in with Hodges, and it will be called in. The entire squad runs onto the field with high spirits. GB ties at 10, and this is, as it has been the case for the entire duration of the game, an absolute nail-biter. At 76th minute, we are tied at 10. Let's see one more time the last British possession. Huge slice, yeah, I think definitely jumped in.
Yeah, jumped in there, definitely.
So Mr. Darren, the sporting hero of Hodges, absolutely so proud.
Yeah, she's happy about that. She can be, as teams are huddling up.
Here's a new word I've just learned in English. He must be very proud of his charge.
Charge.
If that's a word.
Yeah.
You want me to find it for you in German? Pflegling.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think I got it. Say it in Czech.
Světanec. If anyone wants to randomly learn some Czech. But we're tied at 10. Still some time to go. I don't think this game is over just yet. But it's proving to be an excellent fight.
Oh, it's far from over. And every single time I thought, oh, they're going on a run. What happened? The other team went on a run to get back.
Exactly. And here's the pull.
GB with a big pull.
Yeah, Bond knows what she's doing when she winds up for that backhand. Kirsten picks up for Germany.
Lidamani searching for an option. What a grab there, and sends it, but too far.
Love the effort from Mandefeld, who was making sure she's not giving up on that disc.
Yeah, but just too far out of reach. I like the way this disc floated and stood in the end zone for a bit, but just not quite enough.
And Clara Mandefeld, under 17 category and already 170 centimeters tall.
Wow, good for her.
Cologne Ultimate has some bright future in front of them. GB back on O, stuck on the near sideline.
Mitchell cannot quite connect. Patterson not able to wrap her hands around that plastic. Wittmeier already directing traffic before picking up that disc to make sure she got a cut available. Asking for options. Mark coming late, finds Kirsten, and she's up the line and super free, and there comes the running through defender. That is the effort on GB's side.
Naomi Bond making sure that this point is not decided earlier than she wants.
Patterson puts it into Wolf. And a big disc goes up, but only finds the ground.
Great looks from both teams, I think. Either of those teams have done a great job recognizing the deep looks. They just need to have a bit more precision on the execution, just like on this one, the last one, which was just a bit too flat.
I think that is just a general statement thing that we can put out for this game. The looks are great. The precision is just lacking a little bit. And looking at all these players being
overthrown.
Yeah, but super young still.
That's exactly, like, field awareness and reading the game is something you can't teach. As in, you can, but if the kids pick up on it so well as these under 17 women are doing right now, that is just that's good news for the coach. So, not a surprise that after several turnovers, a timeout is called.
And as they are taking a short timeout, so are we. We'll leave you for a bit, and we'll be back right away.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Oh, just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Welcome back after the timeout. As we have some curious people in the chat asking about the time cap, we do have the news fresh from the volunteers that once this point finishes, we will be adding 1 to the higher score, and that's the point that that's the number of points that we will be playing to. So I can already tell you now that this is a game to 12.
Yes. I agree.
Oh no, Sarah Sparks can't hear the audio. And immediately she says, never mind.
Never mind.
Don't scare us, Sarah.
Maybe we really weren't talking.
We also know that Sparks is not your real name anymore. Back to the action on the field. Germany on O.
Big put up in front for Wittmeier, and she's going to put it up as well. Godehard with the collection just in front of her end zone now. She has so many people running towards her. And a marking defender just in front. Searching for an option that goes over the top for Peterson.
Godehard with the assist. She is playing Ultimate because her sister plays it too, and so did her dad. So Pizza Volante Leipzig is super proud of one of their members. Her sister is playing on the U20 team, and this is her first big tournament ever, and already she is looking great out there with the assist.
And look at that, she's playing on that team since 2021, so she's a very young player who might have never experienced a bigger event.
And Peterson, she's been playing for 5 years, also out of Leipzig. Her career highlight were so far the German Championship. She is also from Pizza Volante. She loves chocolate, and her best friend is Carlotta Osman, who is with her on the team. Lovely to see those connections on these young teams. Germany go up 11-10 over Britain, and Britain with all the pressure on them right now to score. It will be made slightly easier by them going downwind. And
on the other hand, we have seen a game of runs, and if that still applies here, Germany break to win the game. Or do you think Great Britain can come up with it and make it a universe point?
And that's all that we're hoping for here in the commentary booth. Some nice universe point tight games. This has been a wonderful match regardless of the outcome. Here's GB facing the German zone.
Hart goes low to collect the disc. Huge fake, and the reset is dropped. Unfortunate.
Nothing is lost just yet, but Germany could run away with this. We are playing until 12. It will be Osman to pick up.
Can she make her best friend proud and be a role model for her?
Luxemburger on the sideline.
Back into Osman, and that is a hand block.
No call. It seems like Osman has already left the disc out of her hand. And GB with a second chance to make this game even.
Just directly into the hands of the marker there. And GB are running away with it. The two players just connecting the two of them. And now Bond has to stretch out her arms to collect that disc. Inside shot into the end zone. Second effort catch. What a way to get into universe point.
And you cannot ask anything more from Emily Askham. She's been all over the place for GB, and she will be the one to take this game to 11-all and all of us to universe. Christina, what a lovely, exciting, thrilling, and exhilarating game by these U17 women.
Do you have another adjective?
No, I've used them all. Sorry, my vocab's not that well developed.
No,
just
I'm actually
yet.
really impressed because I don't think I could have done that. So kudos to you, Rachel. And I think after that I need a break, and they do too, to prepare for this universe. So we'll leave you with some highlights and be back in a second. We are back in live action. This is the last point of this game. Universe, it all comes down to this. 7 people on the line for both Germany and GB. GB on defense, Hart with the pole. Rolling back towards the center of the field.
This is the first Universe point for both of these teams at this tournament. They know what's at stake.
They know the effort it takes. As Osman has a disc in hand trying to put it into the hands of Fass, but cannot connect. And this is GB's opportunity to end that game on a break.
Great defensive effort by Charlotte Wolf. Hart will
just fixing her shoelaces real quick and then picks up the lefty handler, doing so much heavy lifting for that GB side, and that disc is collected just in front of the end zone, put towards the middle for Lou. Lou is searching for a connection, puts the disc up into space, and what a grab, what an effort. She has the disc in her hands, but she's called out by the players.
That was an incredible effort, the way she kept both of her feet in, actually. That was Charlotte Wolf once more. She gets the D first.
We're not quite
She's
sure
not
if she
giving up on that disc.
If she kept all of her body parts inside before.
This will be up to the players that were closest to that play. We had not a great angle to actually see. There might be a different one, but again, the sideline incredibly in the way. Thank you, German boys. Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you for being supporting
considerate.
someone.
So it seems like the disc will stay with GB, will just be sent back. I am not surprised. That one was very difficult to solve. So Louis.
Yeah, that is definitely the right call in a situation like this. And Lou puts the disc up the line to Hart, and he goes into the middle of the field. Askham this time with an easy goal for the score for GB, and they take this game on Universe.
Just one turnover in this last point of the game, and if anyone deserved to catch that last point, it was definitely Emily Askham. I have no idea if we're pronouncing her last name right, but it will surely be conjugated so many times in British Ultimate starting today. She has caught the big shot that earned GB so many yards in the last point and eventually ended up catching the disc in the end zone. Devastation for Germany and their fans, but they've put up a great fight and showed some lovely plays throughout this game. So 100% nothing to be ashamed of. Only pride from these players as well as their fans here in the chat. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back with more action. The newest one, the next upcoming one, will be the Patreon vote.
Exactly, it's the women in the women's division under 20. The German team that some of these players aspire to be on one day against New Zealand.
So if you are currently watching the ULTI.TV YouTube channel, make sure to switch to the WFDF one, because that's where all the action will continue starting 5 o'clock local time.
Until then, get your snacks ready, because we are not finished yet, and there's so much more action during the week that you can follow. So make sure to subscribe to the ULTI.TV and the WFDF channel, and like our videos, ring the bell to get notified, and we'll see you again soon.
ULTI.TV